Hello and welcome to my third behind the scenes video. This time I want to tell you something about the Stadia Park level and the depot and train and archives and streets level. So let's get started. The first level I want to talk about is the Stadia Park level, and it is the shortest level, or the level with the shortest time to build, because I just needed around 35 or 40 hours to rebuild the whole level. It was, I had no really challenges to rebuild this level, but I think the atmosphere in my version is much better than in the original game, because I decided to make the weather with bolt and thunder. But the thing is, in Far Cry 5, I am not able to make rain. So I decided to change the weather to bolt and thunder, but without rain. But to make the feeling of wet surfaces, I added these raindrops here. Oh, that was a bit too fast. Here. I added some raindrops here and at different points, and so it seems that it's wet, but you doesn't see any rain from the sky. That's the only thing I had to manage because of the limitations of the FarCry editor. But yes, that's the rain problem I had. This is one of my favorite places on this level because I don't know, it looks amazing, I think. The funny thing is the letters CCCP are mirrored in the original game too, except the P. That's not my thing. It's on N64 too, so I rebuilt it the same. And at this place here in the original game, there are no pillars. There are only big, I don't know, big quarters or cubes, and looks horrible. But in my version, I can't make it same like on N64, so I decided to make it more realistic with these pillars here. But one problem I had is the differences of the characters I can add. So in the original game, you have to contact a person. I don't know where he is. I think here. Yes, it was here. So this person is random. Every time you start the game, this person looks different, and I can't choose the look of this AI. So every time you will have another person there, and that's a bit difficult because on N64 it's an important person, but I can change them, so you have to live with it. Just to let you see a little bit more, I will change the daytime so you can see something more. That's okay, I think. So that's the level at daytime. You see much fog, so I think it's good for the atmosphere. I like this little place with the mirroring water at this point. It isn't like on the original, but I like this place. So I think the original level is really boring because nothing happens there, and the structure of the level isn't really amazing. The structure in my version is the same, but I think it is much better than the original, except especially because of the atmosphere. The only problem I had in this level is the solution with Natasha. Well, in my first version I had the problem she spawns here right if the goal, the objective is dead. She spawned there and she want to fight with me, so she took the helicopter and flies away. That is the reason why I added invisible floors here, so she isn't able to fly away. But the next thing is I just want to let her here, but she will not make this animation point here if I spawn her. So I decided to spawn her right at the beginning of the level, but far away. If you wait long enough, she will come to you and make her animation at this point. But that doesn't work if I spawn her later. So that was the problems I had with the level. So continue to the next. So welcome at Archives and Streets. In this level, one important thing I wanted to add is that you can look outside the windows. In the original game, you have just a brick wall here at this point, but in my version, you can look outside and see the streets and more of the area. And that's a look from outside here. You can see I built a whole street with buildings and more, and a bit of trash and other details, so you can look outside the window and have an interesting look in compared to the original game. Yeah, that's the biggest change of the Archives level, I think, and yeah, it's pretty cool. One problem I had in Archives, one more time, is the AI. So you have to free Natasha at this point, and the problem is Natasha makes whatever she wants, and I wanted to let her here at this point. So I decided to add signs at this point, the same signs I used to block a door, as example here. And if you go here and unlock the door, she is free too. So except this she would be able to run free at the whole level and will make whatever she wants or dies maybe. So that was very important that she is there at this place and not running around. Next thing is, in my first version, I wanted to add a changing daytime. So I wrote a script so that the daytime changes while you play this level. But the problem is in Far Cry, time between day and night, you will get a very ugly blending effect, and the lights and the lighting in the rooms doesn't look very good at this place. So yes. At the end, I decided to let it at the night because the streets level I added to is at night. So yes, now without daytime. But you can leave the level and can jump directly to streets because I combined two levels again. And at this place is a funny thing because in the original level of streets, you only have this building here. From here to here and here. And at this point, this building ends. So these walls here are not in the original game. So that's not realistic because they deleted the whole Archives level visible in streets. It would be better when they added a few walls, but they deleted it complete, and you can watch how far you want at this point. Yes, that's not correct because here is the whole Archives level. It isn't realistic that you can here watch to the horizon. That's no, that is a no-go. So I changed it, and I had no choice because the level is there. The only way when I wanted to take the same look at the original game is to separate both levels, but my wish was to combine two levels because the streets level for its own is too boring to play, I think. And as you know, I'm not able to add tanks in Far Cry, so I had to add this car here. Yes, it has a mounted gun here, but it's no tank. So this is my solution to drive through the streets. And the streets level it's a bit shorter than the original one because because of the memory of the editor, and yeah, it's a boring level for itself. So I decided to make an end at this bridge. I built a bridge that isn't found in the original game, but I think it's a good ending with some explosions, and finally you drive through this finishing part. The next funny thing is the Easter egg I added from ET. Maybe you found it or you saw it in my Easter eggs video. So if you stand here and look to the sky or to the moon, you will see a bike with ET in the front and someone who drives the bike. But if we take a closer look, you will see this is my bike. Just a few wheels or tires, and that's a corpse with puppet arms. And here I just added some generic forms to make something that looks like ET with a cape or something. Yes, that's the ET from a close-up. Yes, and that's all I can say to the archives and streets level. It's very short because I had no really problems at this, and so continue to the more interesting depot and train level. So welcome to my third dark level here in this video, depot and train. I think I should change the date time so you can see more. I don't really had real problems in depot, except the mission structure, because you have different objectives like collect the documents here at this place or destroy the weapon armory here. And the problem is I want that you make all objectives before you can enter the train. And the thing is, as you remember, before I'm only able to make scripts when something is destroyed or destroyed or killed, and I wanted to make that you solve 3 objectives here, and that means I had to add 3 things. Here is a barrel and a third barrel, and that means if you collect a document there, the fire will spawn and the barrel will explode. So 1 thing is destroyed, and when 3 things are destroyed, these doors from the train will open. That was my biggest problem at the first point. It doesn't really work at the beginning, but I think now it will work in the online version too, because sometimes offline the level works on when it's downloaded, and if I upload it, some people has problems with the online version. Some scripts won't work, and yeah, that's the biggest problem here. That's not my fault. That's I don't know why it happens. The biggest problem I had in this level is to let the train move, because in the original game the 2 levels are separated, and I wanted to combine these. And my problem is I can't let the train move because the train is built on my own, and it isn't possible to move it. But I had to make the illusion that these train moves. So the player go inside the train and can look outside. The door is open. Okay. And later, when the player hits a trigger box here, you will hear an explosion, and this explosion will set from here with these barrels will explode and spawn a fire and a hurt zone. So it isn't possible for the player to go back and see that this door is already open. That was my solution to let the player go further and not back. I would be able to close this door again, but if you remember in my past video, I told you that I can spawn letters, as the letter I, and make it visible that the doors are closed, but the player is able to go through these letters. And when I spawn this sign here, the sign will just falling down and will not block this door. I don't know why, but to block doors is only possible at the beginning of the level, not with the later spawning. Yes, that's my solution to let the player go further and not go back, to see that the doors are open. But that doesn't mean that the train is moving. So what can I do that the player have a feeling of a moving train? So at first I added a sound here. This sound of the pool of sounds I can choose in FarCry sounds like a driving train as far as possible, and that's okay for the first rooms or wagons. So the windows are closed here. Not here. Windows are closed. But I wanted to let the player see that the train is moving, and the only solution I had is this effect here. So you can look outside, and there's a blurry moving effect that the train is moving. And the only thing I had there is this here. This sandstorm effect, I turned it in the right position, and this sandstorm effect is make the illusion that the train is moving. And I think it's a cool solution. I like it for the possibilities of Far Cry 5. And when the player go further and shoot all these brakes, the train stops, so the moving sound disappear, and this sandstorm effect disappear too. So the train stops, you will hear a sound for that, and you stand right here. So that's the illusion that the train moves from depot to this this mountains here, and that will end the level. And that's the other side of the trains. They have no backside. They just look cool from this side here, and that's enough. It's not important to make to build the other side because you're never able to see it. Yes, that was my solution to make this train rolling and moving. I hope you liked it, and the next time I have a video for jungle and control and caverns and cradle, and maybe a little look to the bonus level Aztec. Okay, see you later.